r/AskReddit. What is your guess? I can't go into that store ever again story? While at the till at the convenience store paying for my lunch, the girl behind the counter asked if I wanted to go for a drink. Being married, I made my apologies, hastily pointing to the ring on my fingers, to which she replied that my lunch was a meal deal and would be cheaper with the drink. My girlfriend fist bumped the clerk when he was actually reaching to grab a paper we had just signed. Anyway, we don't go to that Tire Kingdom anymore. I fist bumped a cashier at a grocery store a couple days ago. He was just handing me my change. Never buying groceries again. It brings up dark memories. Back when I was getting married, I was sick as a dog and my soon-to-be bride insisted we go shopping for the wedding invites. Went into this pretty higher-end shop and really felt ill. And not just at the prices. Asked one of the workers if they had a restroom I could use. Long story short, took a massive smelly diarrhea dump. Clogged the toilet and they had no plunger to fix it with. Even though I only flushed once, the toilet kept running and it started to overflow. Rushed out. Closed the door. Grabbed my bride by the arm and just said, "We gotta go." Do barber shops count? Decided to get a haircut whilst having a cold. Sneeze and farted at the same time. Never went back. When I was a kid, my family went to a pizzeria and before the food came I went to inspect the plumbing. They had those sinks where you pressed down on the knob and the water would flow, with the knob slowly raising back up before it would turn off after 20 seconds. I used my fist and hit the top of the knob and the thing just popped off and a huge geyser of water was erupting non-stop. Me and another kid were in there. We looked at each other and just bolted from the bathroom. I got back to my seat and just sat there silent. Then my mom went to use the bathroom. And when she came back she told us this story of how there was a pool in the bathroom hallway and the manager and an employee were in the men's room slipping and sliding trying to shoot off the water. My whole family was laughing at the story, but I just sat there silent. They asked me what's wrong and I told them it was me that did it. They never fail to mention it every time we drive past a pizzeria. Even now 20 years later, I've never stepped foot in one since then. Edit. Since a lot of people are asking, inspecting the plumbing was a joke my family made when I'd go to pee at a restaurant. I'd usually be a glutton about free drink refills, and would always have to get up and pee mid-meal. So my family always joked I was obligated to inspect the plumbing at every establishment. You know how in department stores when they have one of those display bathrooms they have that piece of plexiglass that goes across the toilet that says something along the lines of "not a real toilet. Don't be an idiot and pee in this." Those barriers didn't exist in the 80s when I was a young kid. Mom looked up and saw me with my panties off, holding my dress above my waist and sprinting for the toilet. She did not catch me in time. Edit. Thanks so much for my first silver. I'll tell my mom and maybe it will help to ease a bit of the embarrassment and shame this event caused her. I was with a group of friends in a very quiet store. We were slowly leaving one by one through the double glass doors. One of it was closed and the other stayed open. I somehow thought the closed door was opened and vice versa, so I walked smack into the middle of the closed glass door. My face was imprinted on it. I guess my face was very oily. My friends and the shopkeeper came rushing to see if I was okay, then all marveled at my squashed face imprint. I left quickly. Every time I walk past that shop I make sure I am looking down or at the other side in case the staff recognize my face. When I was much younger, about 9-10, I went to a large PC store with my dad, who wanted to ask a technician about an upgrade. Before we left the house my dad asked if I needed the toilet first, which I said no to. Predictably, on the way I started feeling like I needed to pee, but knowing that I had only 5 minutes earlier told my dad I didn't need to go, I said nothing. We got stuck in traffic for about 30 minutes and the need was becoming urgent. But I thought to myself, I'm a big boy now. I can handle this. I'll just go behind the store when we get there. No. So when we pull up I pretend to my dad that I'm going to look at the games at the front of the store and he could find me there when he was done. So he walked off to the back of the store where the technician's desk was. I took my chance and snuck out to execute my master plan. Little did I know that the rear car park of the retail center was being used for some sort of event. I don't recall what it was, but I just remember a lot of people standing around talking and singing. So I abandoned my attempt and returned to the store. I was at the point of bouncing on the spot to keep it in. One lapse in concentration and it was game over. I returned to the games section and was walking up and down frantically, pretending to browse when all I was really doing was trying not to piss myself. Clearly I was acting strangely, and this led to the security guard coming over to see if I was okay. Except when he arrived he turned the corner just as I was coming to the end of the aisle, and we basically ran straight into each other. The brief moment of shock was all it took to break my piss holding zen. It started as a couple of hot drips that just soaked the front of my underwear, but the seal was now broken, and no matter what I did, there was nothing that could stop the tsunami of warm amber that was now streaming down both of my legs. I could do nothing but stand there, and started crying hysterically. Safe to say that when my dad heard this and came running, he decided that he would not be making a purchase that day, and to this day I have never set foot in that store again. I went to buy groceries almost daily, always in the same store. Most of the time only one checkout lane was open and there was always this really friendly older lady there. She would always make small talk with me and compare me to her son. After a few years of this I moved a bit farther away, but never told her. So I just didn't show up anymore. Now I won't ever go back there because I feel ashamed I didn't tell her and just abandoned her. Not a store, but a public library. We're at the counter, and the librarian is scanning the books we've selected. She was generously sized. My little brother, 4 or 5 at the time, tugs my mom down to whisper something in her ear. He was rather new to the concept of whispering. He put his hand up to shield his lips from the librarian. Despite all this, he says, about the librarian, at standard speaking volume, "Hey mom, why ever notice how fat that lady is?" Mom tried to play it off by saying something akin to, "He thinks it's okay to say it to others cause he says it to me. But my mom's not fat." It did not work. We used to go there every day when my mom didn't want to have to hire a babysitter to watch us during the summer. She'd bring us to her office, and let us walk across the street to the public library to play games on their Windows Vista PCs, or just read books. She'd always come to pick us up when she was done with work. She started looking for babysitters soon after. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more Reddit content.